Right. What is up, gang? In one of my recent videos, I mentioned how there was a confrontation between Sean O'Malley and Merab at like their photo shoot where they're standing in front of the Sphere and they like got a picture of them facing off to promote the fight. Now we've seen the photo a lot, but there's like a brief little argument that was going around online right there. And I couldn't understand what they were saying it, and I mentioned it in one of my videos, and I've had a couple people comment and let me know that the argument was about Tim Welch. That's who they were talking about. Merab was saying he wanted to punch someone in the face, and Sean was like, I dare you to. Weight classes exist for a reason. He'd kill you. I think I had thought they'd said Max, but I guess they were talking about Tim. Several people in the comments let me know that, so I appreciate that. And then I had my first break earlier and I ate and I was listening to Chael. And Chael made a video about it. Or about the ongoing feud between Merab and Tim Welch, maybe? And not O'Malley. I can hear something rattling. There. Give me a second. All right. So, what Chael's saying is it all went back to the fight with Aljo. And he says Tim Welch yelled, "You gotta go, Aljo," or "Let's go, Aljo." I think it's "You gotta go." And then according to what Chael said, that's right. Tim's saying that right before Aljo then proceeds to shoot the takedown that O'Malley caught him with the right hand on and then proceeded to win the fight. That's not what happened at all. And I don't need to go look at all of this up. I don't know what all Tim Welch was saying in that fight. I couldn't hear it all. But before they went into the second round, the ref said something to Tim. He literally stopped and was like, he paused starting the round and said something to Tim and was like, you can't talk to them. And I believe that information even came out. Someone ended up asking the ref later and he came out and he was like, I told him quit hollering at the other fighter or something like that. So I don't know everything that was said, but I want to talk about the ethics of that. And the way Chael was painting it, I just thought was absolutely foolish. He was like, he's trying to make it out like Tim was giving a cheer of, you gotta go, let's go, to the opponent. And it shouldn't be illegal or something. Then he was saying, Merab saying that a person would be disqualified for doing this in any other sport. I don't know about disqualification, but if you think about it, you're not, the opposing coach is not supposed to be speaking to the opposing players and vice versa. That's just how it goes for a bunch of different reasons that we could probably look up and get something. Now, I understand things are said occasionally, but usually when you see an interaction between an opposing coach and an opposing player in football, a flag's being thrown to prevent an altercation of something else. You got to understand, if a coach is going and getting in a player's face, that coach has 52 players behind him that are going to go to bat for him. You know what I'm saying? And I understand players can kind of have the same thing, but it's a little different. I don't necessarily know if it's a written rule in other sports, but I want to talk about the ethics of it in fighting because I've seen some things that are similar to this. So, Tim was not by any means cheering Aljo on. At best, he's mocking Aljo. He's being foolish with Aljo. But what I really think he's trying to do is to distract Aljo and to throw Aljo off. I truly think that is the intent, and I think that is unethical. I've witnessed attempts like this happen in real life. And the attempt, when someone's doing something to draw attention, the only path isn't just distracting the fighter. So say he's yelling at Aljo. If you are cage side in that situation and you're a judge, you're going to recognize the opposite coach is hollering at the fighter and you can slip up and look away. Same with the referee. The referee hears that, the referee stops looking at the fighters and they look away. And then one fighter does something illegal, grabs some trunks, grabs the cage, things like that. I have literally seen fights break out in the crowd at regional events that were rumored to be distraction. It's like you're going into the main event, the co-main event, the guy who is the hometown favorite or whatever, he's losing, he's down 2 to 3 rounds. They're in the 4th round. The underdog gets top control again. A fight breaks out in the crowd. Everyone's turning and looking that way. No one's watching and keeping up with what's going on in the cage. It's a way to manipulate, and it's totally wrong. It's totally unethical. And when you get to interfering with someone else's preparation, you're not wanting to face the top version of that person, and that's showing cowardness in yourself and an unwillingness to compete at a high level within yourself. If you don't want that person across from you to be the best they can be, to prove to yourself you can be the best and be better than them, then you're kind of a sucker, at least in my opinion. So when we're trying to make distraction, it's kind of like in football, holding happens on every play, but they don't call it, so it's like, oh, is it a good play or a bad play? There's something great that came back. It reminds me of paintball. I grew up playing paintball, and not like started out in the woods, but we played speedball and we got sponsored. We play with the inflatable bunkers like maybe you've seen on ESPN, stuff like that. Something that's an ongoing problem in paintball, and I'm sure it still is people would wipe. So you hit someone, they wipe it off before the ref can check them or pull them, and they don't eliminate themselves. And people would be like, oh, is this cheating, or is it's not cheating until you get caught idea. I wasn't someone that was ever going to wipe intentionally. Now, if I'm running and you shoot me and it hits my knee and I slide into the bunker like I'm going to, and that paint comes off, I'm not calling myself out. But I'm not wiping it off when you get a clean shot like I'm playing the game. But if I shoot you and I see it hit and then you wipe, I'm going to hit you again. I'm that good. I'm going to hit you again. That's my outlook on it. That's just how I approach things. I don't like the idea of approaching things from a shortcut or an advantage here and an advantage there. And I get people want to say at the highest level, that's a bunch of crap. That's some sucker shit. So in conclusion, if Tim Welch was trying to distract Aljo or the ref or their coaches, it's kind of a sucker move. I can't speak to the actual legality of it. There probably actually is something in the international MMA rules, whatever they're called now. It's like it comes from boxing rules. It's really confusing. That's something else. Most people in this sport have never read the rules, let alone they can't find the fucking rules. Ain't that crazy? But there probably is something in there about talking to the opposing coaches. Like when they have the timeouts, like someone gets kicked in the nuts, not allowed to talk to your corner. Things like that exist. Enforcing it, though, it's kind of like having a speed limit out on the streets. Can't really enforce it. There's a couple other things like that, but yeah, I think I started my summary and then got distracted there. I think it's a sucker move to try to distract someone by hollering at him. He should only be talking to his fighter, and he should only be bringing out the best in his fighter. If he can't bring out the best of what he's doing, what a coach is doing by talking to the opponent, is they're admitting they can't bring out the best in their fighter. They have to try to bring out the worst in the other fighter. It is what it is. Let me know what y'all think.